In Cyprus, the Lanarca salt lake is the winter home to around 15,000 flamingos. BirdLife Cyprus, though, are saying the birds are vulnerable because of tiny lead shotgun pellets that lie on the lake bed as they feed. And although hunting is forbidden on the majority of the water, dangerously high levels of lead contamination have been found near the hunting area surrounding the salt lake. Well, let's find out more. Joining us now is Martin Hellicar, director of the BirdLife Cyprus group, and joins us now from Nicosia. Thank you very much. Before we get into sort of the details, just what's the importance of this salt lake for the migration pattern of those flamingos?
Good morning, Rosie, and thanks for having me on. Yeah, Lanarca Salt Lake is a fantastic wetland, fantastically important in the winter months for flamingos. Our flamingos breed in Turkey, but they escape the cold there and come down south for their holidays, if you like, their winter holidays. But the salt lakes are also really important for a huge number of other species. They're a Ramsar site because of their international importance.
The pictures are just absolutely stunning, breathtaking almost. But you say that because of historic and current hunting practices, not of the flamingos, I must stress, that's causing a problem and poisoning some of the birds. Just tell us what you found.
Yeah, so there's two facets to this, basically. There used to be a clay pigeon shooting range actually on the edge of Lanarca Salt Lake. After about 50 flamingos were found dead there from lead poisoning in 2003, that was finally closed down, and a big cleanup operation was carried out, scraping the lake bed, basically, to remove the lead. The concentrations of lead pellets found at the time were up to 98,000 pellets per square meter. So we're really talking about a horrific level of contamination. That was cleaned up, but it seems, not surprisingly, when you consider the levels of lead, that there's some left over. And when the water levels are high, then the flamingos go and feed in that area. And as they turn up the silt as they feed and filter feed with those lovely big beaks, then they take in the lead, unfortunately, with disastrous consequences. That's one issue. Then in another part of the lake, because Lanarca Salt Lake is, if you like, a complex of wetlands, different lagoons, shooting is still permitted right next to the lake. And we've carried out a preliminary study of the lead levels there, and it shows some very worrying levels of lead contamination. So we're worried about the risk of poisoning to flamingos and other species at that particular lake as well. I should add that that particular shooting area is also, unfortunately, a real poaching black spot.
I know that the local hunting association there have said it would be a real shame for them because it's only a small proportion of the lake where that hunting is still allowed to take place. Just explain to us why it is that you're concerned, what impact that could have on the flamingo population.
So it is a small area of the lake, and our position is that that's fine. Hunting is fine as long as it's controlled and managed. The evidence at the moment is that in that part of the lake there is serious lead contamination, and there's also a lot of poaching. And this is something we've been highlighting for a number of years. So if it can't be controlled and managed, if the ban on lead, which is an EU-wide ban now on lead pellets being used close to wetlands, cannot be effectively enforced, and if poaching can't be controlled, then we're calling for that area to be closed. Our position is not against hunting in general, but where there's particular problems, then wildlife like flamingos has to come first ahead of hunting.